Today in the shop, we're on part 2 and hopefully the final part of this compound build, and we have a ton of work to do, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're back on the compound build, and hopefully by the end of this thing, we'll have it running. That's the plan. I mean, as long as everything goes smoothly, I don't see why not. We have all the bits and pieces we need, everything to make all the lines. I've been grinding on this thing. Some of it has been off camera. Like, I got all the piping done, the majority of it. I have a little bit left to finish weld up today, and kind of been picking away, planning, and figuring out some of the stuff that it's just tedious, kind of boring to watch on camera, so I just got it knocked out. We got a bunch of stuff planned for today. I got to get the injectors done. I got to get some of the piping just finished welded up that I didn't finish. I got to finish up the fuel system, remount the turbo, and lots of heat mitigation stuff. I got a lot of heat shielding and wraps and all that kind of stuff that needs to be run. And I also got to finish plumbing all the lines for the IPR oil cooler. At one point, I was going to put it over on the driver's side. I decided to put it back on the passenger side, so we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I'm going to get right into it. We're going to get right into the injectors. If you guys are looking for a video on how to install injectors, I have a detailed video that I did in the past. I'll link it down below, and that should help you step by step. This video is just going to be quick, banging it out, montage of everything I'm doing, and maybe drive it at the end, at least have it running, so we'll see. But let's get right into it. Let's get these injectors done. We decided to go with 190/30 injectors on this thing. Probably could have gone a little bit bigger, but at the same time, I think with the truck being so light, 190/30s is really good. A 30% nozzle is going to make it so it has great street mannerisms, not going to be too smoky and everything, and you know the 190 is going to make it so we should be able to get a decent amount of power out of this thing. I mean, worst case scenario, we can always step up on the nozzle size, but I think this is going to be pretty good. But we got these injectors from Holders, and you know, from everything I've seen, talking to them at a few of the shows and everything, Holders, really great guys, seem like to have a really good product, so I'm excited to have these things in the truck. And I ended up going with the Remans. If you can swing the extra money, I highly suggest you go with the premiums. The premiums have all new spool valves, all new parts. They're made from, you know, a quality injector, and you know, the Remans are made from your own injectors. So I knew I had a good set in here. I wanted to save a little bit of money. If you can swing it, I highly recommend going the premiums, but I think we should be okay on this build for now. All right, guys, so I got those injectors all buttoned up on this side, and then jumped ahead, got the other side done on the driver's side over there. And next step is I really want to get this side all back together, get the turbo on, all that stuff, some of the pipes I made up, but I got one last pipe I got to weld up. That's this downpipe. This basically goes from the atmosphere turbo to the factory downpipe. If you remember in my previous video, I told you I took the factory, well, aftermarket downpipe, but factory location, and I loosened it and just rotated it facing forward. So this is gonna come straight from that turbo, right back to that downpipe, but I got a whole lot of welding to do on this thing. So let's go over to the welding bench and get this thing done. All right, so now that we get that all welded up, I went ahead and I started putting it all in. And as you can see, I got, like I was talking about heat mitigation, I got some heat tape on here and all around here. I got everything all wrapped up nice. It seems like it's touching right here, but once the turbo is in place and kind of holds it up, it's good. It clears everything. So this is that bracket holding this elbow on. I'm going to put a little, it's part of a turbo blanket that I'm going to put on here to help protect the hood. And I also might put some heat tape on the hood area up here just so we can kind of keep that paint from getting destroyed. But before I go and put this turbo in, I'm going to take out this front glow plug because we got a pretty slick setup from Black Tie Race Fab. And how it works is it drains the oil right down into the front glow plug hole on the front glow plug on the passenger side here. So you put a glow plug delete in, and then there's a fitting that pops right in where the glow plug harness would normally go. On a truck like this, missing one glow plug, it's going to start perfectly fine. We barely even drive this when it's cold, so I think it's going to work out pretty good. I'll show you a little more detail on that fitting once I get the turbo and we start making that drain line, but for right now, I'm just going to swap out this glow plug with the glow plug delete. All right, so here's that glow plug delete, and that's obviously the glow plug that came out of it. So the reason why we're doing this is just to kind of get this little piece out of the way. Gives a little more clearance. That way, when the oil is draining back into the head, there's a little more room for it to flow. Like I said, I really don't think that this is going to affect the way it starts at all, being one glow plug out. Most of you guys are out here running around with a couple of bad glow plugs as it is. So all the other glow plugs in this engine are brand new and healthy. I think we'll be perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll get the turbine housing mounted up in the truck. All right, now it's time for the center housing and compressor. Very important to make sure that the feed and the drain are as vertical as possible. That's how you're going to get the longest life out of your turbo. You can always clock your compressor housing separately if you need to, but definitely making sure that your drain is as vertical as possible is going to be the best bet. All right, so this is that fitting from Black Tie Race Fab like I was talking about. I'll put a link below in the description to their website. And when I saw this, I was like, this is pretty slick because it saves me from having to pull the oil pan back out, put a bung in there, either the lower oil pan or the upper oil pan. And this thing is pretty genius design. You can get just the fitting. You can get the fitting with the glow plug delete, and you can get the whole package where it comes with a return line. The only issue is the return line is a little bit longer. I had to make this one, it's a little short because of the way that I have my turbo tucked so close to the engine. So their return line wouldn't work for me. So I just made this one up. But this thing just goes right into this glow plug hole, right where the harness would normally go. And then your return line can go right onto there. And then it'll go up to there and then right up to the turbo. So I thought that was a pretty slick design, and it's definitely going to save me quite a bit of time. All right, guys, well, it's the next day. I'm not gonna lie, after I got this compressor housing on and the oil drain done and all that stuff, I got a little carried away, forgot to hit record on the camera, and ended up getting the truck pretty much back together, and it's ready to fire up. So let me just grab my GoPro, I'll walk you around, I'll show you what we got, how it looks all together, and then we'll try to fire this thing up. All right, so we got turbo in, all the intercooler piping in, all the way around. That goes up over into there. We got all the stuff like the PCV, fuel lines done, everything. We got all this stuff routed. I'm a little concerned about heat on this stuff, but I mean, I think I should be all right. We got the heat wrap on the pipes, and then we also have all this thermal barrier on all the hoses. We're going to monitor it, take it easy on the first couple of drives, check it with the thermal imager, and make sure that none of this stuff is getting too hot. I think it should be okay, but you know, something we'll have to keep an eye on. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, we'll have to relocate some stuff, and that's just the name of the game. When you go with something custom like this, this is the first time I've ever built a compound setup, especially something this tight. I mean, you know, this video doesn't really do it much justice. This thing is in there. There's not a lot of room. And I got that heat shield right up there. So I'm pretty happy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I ended up leaving this battery up here. I was going to put the batteries in the bed, but I got a truck show tonight that I wanted to get the thing to, so we ended up just locating this here, and it starts perfectly fine on one battery. If it was wintertime, maybe 2 batteries, and you know, there's a chance that I might end up putting the batteries in the bed anyway still, but we'll see how it goes. So, all right, that's enough talk. Let's try to get this thing fired up. All right, here we go. Got our fuel pump running. Not gonna lie, a little nervous. Had it running for a few seconds last night, but shut it right off because I had no coolant in it. So this is the first true test, getting this thing hot, letting it run. Let's see what happens. All right, here we go. Oh man, she runs good. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna let this thing run for a little while, and then pull it out, wash it, monitor some temperatures, make sure everything's good, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of time on this build. I got this truck show tonight, and kind of got to cut the video off here, but super happy with the way this came out. There'll definitely be more videos showing more information about this, showing how it drives, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to get some video at this truck show and maybe make a quick thing about that, but in the meantime, I got to get this thing loaded up on a trailer, get it out of here, get it up to New Hampshire, and you know, see how that show goes. But a couple of people I want to give a shout out to. Shout out to Holders Diesel. They got injectors out to me real quick. Turnaround time was awesome. Blessed Performance the whole way has been phenomenal. Helped me out with quite a bit of things on here. Black Tie Race Fab with that fitting saved me a lot of time because there's no way I would have had the time to pull the pan out of this thing and while the bunging and everything. So I want to definitely say thank you to them. And IPR Research. I got the oil cooler from them and the radiator, and I've been back and forth with Vince quite a few times on relocating and how to plumb things up when I, you know, move things around, and he's been a big help. So, you know, I just want to say thank you to all those people and anybody else that's been a part of this. I mean, there's so many people that's helped me out, and, you know, little things here and there, or even just giving me some of their time. I really want to say thank you, and I couldn't have done it without you. So with that, I'm going to leave it off. And if you haven't already, subscribe. There's definitely more coming with this. We're going to start racing it, start doing some stuff with it, and hopefully, you know, keep the content going. As always, guys, thanks for watching In the Shop.